With so much trouble in the PBC, it's kind of hard being Chris IGOE, but somehow, some way, I keep serving up housing market data like every single day, which of course is a tribute to my main man, Snoop Dogg. But let's get into it right now because the most recent housing market data is in for Palm Beach County, as well as the 22 other metros that exist within the state of Florida. So, if learning more about what's happening in each and every metro within the state of Florida is your thing, please stay tuned because I will be covering each metro as soon as I possibly can. And to be clear, the data that I'm sharing is over a month old. It is lagging. It is not the most current information that exists as far as what's happening in the hyperlocal markets that you might be shopping within each of these metros. And if you are shopping, it's critical that you understand what's happening right now today in order to advocate and negotiate for yourself the right way. And if you happen to be shopping in my metro, then please reach out because we would love to help. And if you're shopping in any of the other 21 metros that I do not service, please reach out because we will connect you with an all-star professional, someone that we know, like, trust, someone that can absolutely advocate and negotiate for you the right way. Because ain't nobody overpaying on my watch, and ain't nobody not getting full market value for your home if you're thinking about selling. And to be abundantly clear, only do what is right for you. And while I can and do help lead the process with every client that I work with for them to know what the best and worst case scenarios could potentially be if they're thinking about buying or selling, the only one who has true visibility into what is right for them from a financial and lifestyle perspective is you. Only do whatever is right for you. Because what's right for me is completely irrelevant. Because what's right for me is completely irrelevant. Nobody cares. And unlike many other agents that exist within the market, I feel a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that you know exactly what I see in terms of leading market indicators in order to make the best decisions for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. But I've seen way too many other agents that are in my market that are advising their clients that the market only goes in one direction and that it's impossible to make a bad decision when buying real estate. And if you've got enough money and a long enough timeline, well, then those are true statements. But I suspect that every single person is different and has their own set of circumstances, which must be considered. But the most recent data has been published, and we're going to get into that right now. May 2023 single family homes numbers are out. We're talking about Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach Metro. We're talking about the counties of Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade. And as you can see on the map highlighted in blue, we're talking about the Southeast Florida markets. And yes, inflation is out of control. And yes, mortgage interest rates are at 7% or damn close to it if you've got perfect credit. And yes, Big Papa Powell is telling everyone that he's going to raise Fed funds rates. And the geopolitical environment that exists within the world is not exactly the rosiest that it's ever been. And China and Putin are not exactly the friendliest adversaries that we have right now. And the commercial real estate market is imploding in many markets. And the banking system is stressed to the max. And yes, there are lots of other things that are happening too. Florida home insurance is through the roof. And yes, that has been a disaster for many. And yes, there are many condo buildings and condo associations that are at risk because they are not capitalized and funded the right way, because their roofs are at risk. They may not be insurable. And if those condos do not get insurance, well, then we are going to have a major implosion in the condo markets that exist within the state of Florida. And while I know that personal financial distress is on the uptick, none of that is being priced into the numbers, which you see right now. So let's get into those numbers right now. Closed sales in Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade are down 9.6%, and cash sales are down 22%. Median sales price in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach metro are up 3.2% from 591 in May of 2022 to 610 in May of 2023. And the average sales price in the Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade metro are up 3.4% from 967 and change in May of 2022 to a touch over a million for a single family home. And I've read your comments. There are some of you out there that say that Florida is the new California. And there are some of you out there that think that Florida is the new Monaco, or is the new Switzerland, or is the new some other elite place where prices have exploded and never reset. And you might be right, yet to be determined. The truth is, the market doesn't care about what your opinion is about Florida home prices. And the market doesn't care about what my opinion is about home prices in Florida. And while these numbers are a month off, the market is always right. And we can certainly build the case that there is a massive affordability crisis that exists within my markets. And the market does not care up until it does, because the market has no feelings, period. But dollar volume dropped in May of 2023, down 6.4%. Median percent of original list price received dropped from 100 to 96.3%, down 3.7%. Median time to contract upticked 145.5% from 11 days to 27. Median time to sale upticked 32.1% from 53 to 70 days. New pending sales are down 8.5%. New listings, and this is a key stat to pay attention to. New listings are down 26.2% from 6,058 a year ago to just under 4,500, 4,472 to be exact. And that tells me that homeowners who are in at 2, 3, 4% are not interested in trading out of that mortgage and into a 7, 8, 9, 10, 20% mortgage, period. They're not interested in playing financial Harry-Carry. They're not making that trade until they have to. And I suspect as personal financial distress is on the uptick, there's going to be lots of folks out there that do have to. And many of them who get in front of the market will take advantage of the market because, as you can clearly see, the market is in fuego. And they will likely reduce the financial distress that they are feeling. But if everyone is feeling that same financial pain and moves to sell their home at the exact same time, and it becomes the monkey see, monkey do syndrome of everyone listing at the same time, supply will skyrocket and prices will tank, depending on how severe those upticks are. But as of May of 2023, new listings are down 26.2%, which takes us to pending inventory, which is down 15%. But the active listings, the inventory of homes sitting on the market unsold, is on the uptick, 21.5% to be exact. In May of last year, there were 7,600 homes sitting on the market unsold. And as of May of 2023, there were almost 9,300, a 21.5% increase in homes sitting on the market unsold, which translates into a month's supply of inventory uptick from 1.8 months to 3 months. And to be clear, 3 months is still a seller's market. But I will be showcasing exactly what's happening in June coming soon, because I've got access to real-time information so that you know exactly what's happening in my markets right now, because May information is irrelevant and right now information is actionable. And I am committed to giving you the most comprehensive data that is available so that you can make the best decisions for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. But we all want to know, is Palm Beach in trouble? And the truth is, it really depends on which area of this market you are concerned with. Because I can tell you that mortgage lenders are in trouble. And I can tell you there are lots of real estate professionals that are in trouble. There are lots of title agencies that are in trouble. There are lots of ancillary businesses that serve and support the industry that are in trouble. And why is that? It's because closed sales are down 21% across the board year to date. And May of 2023 was less painful than April of 2023 in that there were only 10% less closings year over year. But in April, it was 21%. But if you look back chronologically at the massive drop in closed sales, it should be obvious that there's a lot of folks out there that aren't putting food on the table for their families that are in this industry, with percent changes year over year falling off a cliff to the tune of down 26%, down 37%, down 41%, down 38%, 26, 26, 22, 29, 25, and 15. No bueno if you don't know how to serve and support your clients the right way. And thankfully, that does not include me, because I know that the market is always good for someone. And I also know that right now in my market, today, in fact, there are 4 properties that are being auctioned as we speak. And while I can't get in front of them with a solution that solves their problem and that creates a win-win for both of us, I do know that had I been in front of them in 2018 and 2019, when they got themselves in trouble and needed a solution, I didn't have one, but today I do. And if you are interested in seeing how I intend and will create my own real estate portfolio for myself and other investors by using creative strategies that most folks don't know or don't understand or don't believe exist, then please check me out on Patreon, where I will document the process from soup to nuts. And if you find yourself in a situation where that might be a good solution for you, then please reach out, because we would love to help. But in May of 2023, cash sales fell off a cliff, down 22%. Year to date, down 27%. And I'm not going to read the whole list because you can see it yourself. But what you'll notice is that cash sales have fallen off a cliff over the last year. And cash sales as a percentage of closed sales are on the downtick, down 14%. Year to date, down 7.7%. But I do think it's interesting in the Economist's note that the statistic is simply another way of viewing cash sales. And it goes on to say that the remaining percentage of closed sales each month involves some sort of financing, such as mortgages, owner/seller financing, assumed loans, etc. And I've read your comments. There are a lot of you out there that don't think that creative financing is a solution. Well, you just saw The Economist seems to think it is. And I know for certain it is, or I wouldn't be wasting my time. But you can continue to believe whatever you want to believe, and you can continue to not capitalize on opportunities that exist right now. But for everybody else, please follow me on Patreon, because I go off. Which takes us to the median sales price for single family homes in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Metro. And year to date, the median sales price is up 4.5%. And I'm looking back over the last year, I'm looking for the whammy. I'm looking for the loss. I'm looking for the negative return. I don't see any. Instead, what I see is single digit growth across the board in terms of median sales price. And if you've been watching for a while, you know that I've been talking about single digit appreciation across the board in my market and almost every other market within the state of Florida. I've been predicting that for over a year. Which, to be clear, does not mean I'm talking out both sides of my mouth, because I've seen your comments. It does mean that I'm aware of what's happening right now. And I'm also aware of what could happen in the future. And for anybody who doesn't actually watch these videos with the audio on, I've been saying the same thing for years. But I've also said that median sales price is not the most instructive thing to pay attention to because the median sales price is simply the middle term in all the terms of values. And it radically underrepresents what most homes cost in the markets that I serve and support. Because most single family homes that you're going to find in resort style communities within Boca, Delray, and Boynton Beach are not going to be priced at 610. They're far more likely to be priced closer to the average sales price of this metro. And the average sales price is not the middle term, it's the average. And if you don't know what the average is, then I suspect this is probably not the right channel for you. However, in an effort to be accommodating to everybody, it's the total sales in dollars divided by the number of sales. And I've highlighted the economist note because the note says usually we prefer median sales price over average sales price as a summary statistic for home prices. And I would say, well, that's great, economist. Good for you. For home buyers that are shopping today in my market, they don't care what your economist notes say. But the economist note does concede that the average sales price does have its uses, particularly when you're looking for insight into the market for higher end homes in an area, which is really just a long way of saying what I already told you, which is nobody cares about median sales price. Buyers want to know what the home prices are in the market that they're shopping. And average sales price is a hell of a lot more instructive. And what you can see is in that May of 2023, the average sales price upticked 3.4%. And it broke the trend of April, March, and February, where there was a decrease of 3.4, 7.2, and 6.0%. And what you can't help but notice is that we are back in May to almost the high of June 2022, where the average sales price was damn near $1,020,000. Well, in May, it was $1,627,000. So we're not quite at the all-time high of June 2022, but we're not too far off. Which again, May is a month off, and I am going to share what June is in my next video. So please stay tuned and please subscribe to the channel so you can know exactly what's happening right now. Which takes us to total dollar volume. And total dollar volume is down 22% year to date. And in May, it was down 6.5%. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here, but it's obvious when there are less transactions closing, there's going to be less dollar volume that is closing too. And median percent of original list price received is also down 3.7%, which is not as bad as it was in April, where it was 4.1%. And year to date, it's down 4.5%. But keep in mind, we're talking about 96.3% of original list price received. And I can tell you that if you price the home the right way, you will very likely get well over 100% of list price, just like we saw in June and May of 2022. But you must work with an all-star professional that understands how to market and price your home the right way. And if you're thinking about selling and you're in my market, please reach out because we would love to help. And if you're thinking about selling in any of the other 21 metros that exist within the state of Florida, please reach out because who you hire matters. And we will connect you with an all-star professional that definitively knows how to find the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anybody else. Which takes us to median time to contract, which is on the uptick, 145.5% uptick to be exact, 27 days. Year to date, it's up 171.4%, 38 days. It's taking longer to get under contract, unless you price your home the right way, in which case that number will be significantly lower than the median to contract. And it will very likely look something closer to what it used to look like in June and May of 2022. And the same logic applies to median time to sale, which is on the uptick 32.1% to 70 days. Year to date, it's up 40% at 80 days. And to be clear, median time to sale starts from when the property is listed, not from when you go under contract. So the number is going to be bigger. But in my experience, if you price the home the right way, you're typically looking at something closer to 50 days as opposed to 70. And back in June and May of 2022, that's exactly what the median time to sale was. New pending sales are down 8.5%, and year to date, they're down 15.3%, which, to be clear, is down 8.5%, but it's nowhere near as drastic as it was in December of 2022 or November or October. New pending sales are on the uptick relative to those months. But new listings are down significantly. And new listings are critical to understand about the supply side because without new listings, there is a big drop in supply. And right now, most homeowners are not interested in selling unless they have to. And May of 2023 demonstrates that pretty well because there was a decrease in new listings by 26.2%. And in April, it was 27.9%. And year to date, it's down 20%, but you can go back and look for yourself and see the massive short supply that exists as far as new listings are concerned. But the other part of the supply story is the active listings, the homes that are sitting on the market unsold. And what you'll notice is that in May of 2023, that number is up 21.5%, which is nowhere near as drastic as it's been in the past. Because in April, it was 50%. In March, it was 79%. In February, it was 92%. In January, it was 102%. On and on down the line. But as of May 2023, which again is a month old, there was a short supply and there were only 9,274 homes sitting on the market unsold, which translates into the month supply of inventory upticking almost 67% to 3 months. 3 months is still a seller's market. And year to date, it's 3.2 months of supply, which translated differently means if you're shopping, you've got more opportunities to buy a home. But the supply is constrained. There's still only 3 months of inventory, and the new listings are in short supply. So the supply side is continuing to be a challenge, which is why new construction and new home builders are monopolizing that market. And buyers are aggressively pursuing new construction because they get exactly what they want. And they may even get better terms as far as mortgage interest rates are concerned. These builders have the cash in their pipeline in order to incentivize the market with more attractive rates. And I've seen tons of builders offer quick delivery homes at far more competitive mortgage interest rates than what you would find today in the open market. And I will include some links to videos where I talk about what the new construction market looks like right here in my market. But I will save you some time. Builders have a schedule of increased price points and increased lot prices for the next year, which tells me that they are pretty confident that the supply will remain the way it is and that demand is through the roof for their products. Which takes us to a breakdown of closed sales by sales price. And again, we're talking about single family homes in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Metro, but you can look at the list and you can see that there has been a short supply of closings across the board in every price point. Closed sales have fallen off a cliff, which is why there are so many folks in this industry that are suffering. And I'm not going to read them all because you can look at the list yourself, but there has been a decrease in closed sales by sales price across the board. And median time to contract by sales price is also instructive. And what you can see is that the percent change year over year in terms of time to contract, every single one of these price brackets, with the exception of 50 to 100,000, have increased exponentially. And while the percentage changes look impressive, we're really only talking about 45 days as it relates to $1 million or more inventory. And 45 days to contract, honestly, is a return to normal. And the next data that we must pay attention to is new listings by initial listing price. And what you can see is there has been a short supply of new listings by price point for anything over $50,000. Anything under $50,000, which again, we're talking about single family homes. Well, that price point is on the uptick. There were 7 new listings, which is an increase of 40%. But every other metric, every other price point is in short supply. By 50, 30, 27, 48, 21, 41, 21, 24, and 26%, which is probably no bueno if you're looking to buy a home in one of those price points, because the supply is simply not there, which means there's going to be far more competition for those new listings. But new listings is only part of the supply conversation. We have to look at the inventory by current listing price. And what you'll notice, there's volatility all over the place. And while some of the price points remain unchanged, others have dropped significantly. Others have increased exponentially. And right now, the inventory by current listing price of $1 million or more is on the uptick by 40%. There are 4,122 homes sitting on the market unsold in my metro that are $1 million or more, which is probably not great if you're thinking about selling $1 million or more home. And it's probably music to your ears if you're thinking about buying a home in that price point, because you've got far more choices. Which takes us to the most critical thing that I am paying attention to these days. And full disclosure, I'm looking at it a little bit differently than I think most agents are, because although foreclosures are down 17.6% in Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade, and short sales are down 44% in Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade, I also know that personal financial distress is on the uptick. And I also know that those foreclosures started in 2018 or 2019. They're only showing up in the data today. So I know if there is a black swan event, it's going to take 5 or 6 years for the bank to foreclose, for there to be a forced distress sale. But there's no time like the present to get in front of those folks who are feeling personal financial distress and offering them solutions which may be better than what a foreclosure or a short sale will look like for them. And no, it's not going to apply to everybody, but it will apply to some folks. And those are the people that I want to serve and support at the highest level, right alongside all of the other people that I'm serving and supporting at the highest level. Now, I hope you found this content valuable. And if you did, please subscribe to the channel and follow me on Patreon, where I go off. Check me out on Twitter, where I can never be censored. And if you're thinking about buying or selling really anywhere, then please reach out, because we would love to help. And check out my next video, because I suspect you will love it a lot. And until next time,